What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. This one, I've only done one like this before, and um, I want to talk about the fight last night. Caleb Plant versus David Benavidez. Uh, I want to say that, you know, when the fight was announced, I was with Benavidez. I was like, hell yeah, support the raza. He's a monster. And then leading up to the fight, Benavidez' mouth turned me off. Maybe I'm just old school, but I believe that's a profession where you talk with these. It seems like the Mexican monster during the lead up to the fight just became the Mexican mouth. I felt like he was very disrespectful in the things he was saying, and I get that nowadays this is how they sell a fight. But I'm old enough to remember fights were sold based on people's hands, not their mouths. I remember in the 80s, man, you had Sugar Ray, you had Hearns, you had Hagler, Duran, Arguello, Pryor. Like, you had so many fighters, man, that, Tyson, it was an era of boxing that I don't think will ever come back. But they were like, let's make the fight happen, let's get in the ring. And everybody did the talking on their own. Seems like trolling just has taken over every aspect of our lives, right? Somebody always trolling, somebody seeking attention when you know damn well you got to get in that ring. Now, that said, I thought it was a good fight. Benavidez is doing his post fight press conferences, and people are asking him about the fight, and there's a few things that Benavidez said that kind of tripped me out. One of them was that he said he dominated the fight. No, in my eyes, you dominated the rounds that counted. You did that. Benavidez did do that. The last 4 rounds of the fight were it wasn't even a question. The first 7 rounds of the fight, I think, Plant won the majority of those rounds, in my eyes. And it goes back to the beginning. Remember earlier that fight, that night, if you watched all the fights, I did. There was another Mexicano fighting, and he got robbed. He dropped the dude in the first 40 seconds of the fight. It was obvious that he knew he could hurt the guy anytime he wanted, but he got outpointed. And he lost because of that. So I was feeling like Caleb Plant was on the same path. He came in with before I get sidetracked. Another thing that Benavidez said, he's complaining that the ref didn't give Plant any warnings for the clinch. Now, we all saw what he was trying to do. He was trying to do a Mayweather. He was going in there. He's going to touch you with a couple of them, and then he's going to tie you up to frustrate you. And that strategy was doing pretty good for him. Was it going to win him the fight if he could have gone the whole 12 rounds? By the rules of boxing, he would have outpointed Benavidez, and he should have. But I don't think in a fight like that they would have gave it to him. I don't know. But one thing I do know is when Benavidez says the ref wasn't warning Plant for the clinch, the ref also didn't say anything about the elbows that Benavidez kept hitting Plant with. I counted at least 5 elbows on the clinch in frustration. As soon as he could separate a little bit, boom, he hit him with the elbow. Of course, you throw the punch. It was one of those things they said Tyson used to do. You throw the punch and follow it through with an elbow. I saw Benavidez do a few of those. I really believe the cut on Plant was from an elbow. But we never saw the angle. One thing that I'm glad for, though, is that with all the bad blood, Benavidez went and shook his hand and showed him love, and they showed each other respect because, that's that old school stuff where, no matter how much you dislike someone, once you exchange hands, exchange blood, there's gonna be respect, win or lose. You gotta understand. You gotta be like, at least he stood up to me, or at least we went at it, whatever. And I respect that. I wish that would have been how it was prior. Um, there's no doubt in my mind, Benavidez won that fight. Um, and now, here's the thing that we need to see. I'm a Canelo fan. Canelo's been losing me slowly but surely because of his arrogance that he has now. If you notice a pattern with me, I was with Benavidez until the disrespect, until he started doing all that. Rather than shutting up and just waiting to do this, he lost me. Um, Canelo is just too arrogant now, and I don't know how the people can get it done. Boxing is so corrupt, but this Plant fight, this Tank Garcia fight that's coming up next month, these are the fights that can bring boxing back. Get people to say, you know what, let me put the UFC to the side for a minute because boxing is coming back. And the way to solidify the return of boxing, or the potential return of boxing, is Canelo needs to fight Benavidez. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I think the fight with Caleb Plant solidified in my mind what I already believe. Canelo will destroy Benavidez. It won't go. It will not go the distance if they fight. Um, Caleb Plant ate Benavidez' biggest shots. Did he get hurt? He did. Did he go down? Wasn't even close. He couldn't. He folded under Canelo's best punches. Um, the head movement that Canelo has, coupled with the skills he had, and then you add to that all the power Canelo has in his hands. Benavidez has never seen nothing like it, and it needs to happen. Canelo needs to stop saying, "I'm not gonna fight another Mexican." And nah, that to me, if he's gonna continue to do that, then unfortunately, I'm gonna have to say that's coward stuff. Again, going back to the golden era of boxing, um, the best fought the best. That's why there's debates on who's the best. To me, Mayweather will never be in my category of the best. He has the best record, um, but Mayweather had a history. You can go back and look at his fights. He always fought people in there where they either, majority of the time, either too old or too young. Manny Pacquiao was a perfect example. He ducked him and ducked him and ducked him. So I'm not. These newer fighters, I can't say they're in the category with uh, Chavez and um, Sugar Ray Leonard, Muhammad Ali, uh, Hagler, Hearns. I can't put them in that category. Those guys fought. Oh, that guy's good. Set it up. Let's fight. Nowadays, people want to fight for the belt and then just fight a bunch of suckers to keep raking in the money, get that pay-per-view money. Canelo needs to fight Benavidez. It has to happen. If he doesn't take the fight, I think he's the mandatory, right? He's been the mandatory. Benavidez said he's been the mandatory for the last two fights. Boxing needs to go ahead and step in and strip Canelo of whatever belts he has. Take them all. I mean, force his hand. But this will be good for boxing. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the fight last night. I lost 100. I put 100 on Plant. You know, there's no point in betting on Benavidez, putting the money on him in a Vegas bet because of the odds. You're not gonna win nothing. So I went, try to get lucky and hope he. If Caleb Plant had more power in his hands, that fight could have turned out a whole lot different. But we all knew that he probably wasn't going to be able to rock Benavidez. But I thought he would be able to outbox him for 12 rounds. I knew he was going to try to do the Mayweather thing. Unfortunately, he ran out of gas. But at the end, what did he do? He showed his heart, especially the last round. He exchanged with him. Like, I think he knew, I have to knock this dude out or I lose, and he put himself in harm's way. He did get beat up, but again, I think the elbows were also a problem for Plant. Also getting punched in the back of the head in the clinch. Um, we all know, or a lot of us know, about the other boxer. I can't remember his name right now, who repeatedly was socked in the back of the head during the fight, and then he turned into he's basically a vegetable. He's functioning now, but punching somebody in the back of the head repeatedly, especially in that sport, and with somebody that hits as hard as Benavidez, is dangerous. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and bring this to a close. Hopefully, the Davis Garcia fight is gonna be, if not as, hopefully more exciting. Uh, I think somebody's going to sleep that fight though, and we're all going to be tuned in thanks to this fight. I think you're going to have more people excited to see that fight, and hopefully it's gonna. I don't see a lot of clinching in that fight. I think there's going to be some brawling. I think um, Ryan Garcia is at a disadvantage because of the dehydration clause they put in there. He's going to come in weak. People are saying that Ryan's never faced anything like Tank. We're gonna find out. Uh, I want this fight to hurry up and happen because I'm tired of seeing Tank Davis walk around with a purse. What part of the game is that, man? But anyways, everybody, please stay safe, stay smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them. I'm out.